attach a individual server to a Alletra array. So the first thing we have to do is we have to import the module. And once we've imported the HPE storage module, we can do a connect command, which is connect to the array, and you're going to give it the IP address of the array, and you're going to give it the type of array. In fact, you can put them in multiple different types here that are supported. And then you're going to put a credential in. Now by default, if you don't put a credential in, it will ask you for one for a username and password. I've already created a credential object to do that, so it's relatively easy. You hit that, and all of a sudden it'll connect. Now it's connecting via SSH and via API, because there's some things you can do via the API that you can't do via the SSH and vice versa. So the commands are actually smart enough to know which one to use. Now once we have a command here, a command prompt, and we're connected to the array, we're ready to go ahead and make a host group. So the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to want to grab an individual server that we want to make a host group for. In this case, I've got an Azure Stack local machine that I'm going to create a host group for. So I'm going to go out to a prompt, and I'm going to type get-initiator port. And you can see, here are my two worldwide names. In fact, what I need is my worldwide port addresses, which are 51402EC001, blah, 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 blah. So we're going to end in E6C and 6E. So I'm going to copy that in my buffer, hit Control-C. Whoop. And now I should be able to go back here and type the command new-A9 host, and I can put a host name in this case, it would be node A1, and my worldwide name is going to be what I copied into the buffer a minute ago. And my persona, and again this auto-completes, so I've got a bunch of different ones here, so it automatically figures out, but of course one of them is called Windows. And I'm going to type in the OS, which happens to be Azure Local here, but I can put anything I want in there. And the reason you put a persona in there is because the array knows how to actually optimize the presentation of LUNs to the host to make it so that it understands it better. For instance, AIX may have different requirements for LUNs. So I create a host. I'm going to do the exact same thing, except using the second worldwide name in that machine. Oh, can't create another one with the same name. I'm going to call that B. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing to my second node of this cluster. Get net initiator it's just get initiator. And I don't want the ID, I want the actual ports. So again, I've got my port worldwide port name. I'm going to copy that into my buffer with Control-C. Go back to my PowerShell window and do this exact same command, except now I want node 2A. I'm going to do the exact same thing for 2B. This way all four paths are configured. And now I've created all my hosts. Now I want to go ahead and do a new A9 and the Alletra 9000 host set. And I'm going to call this the Azure Local Cluster. And I'm going to put as a set members the four I just created. And it's created successfully. So in the next video, I'm going to show you how to actually create a volume and assign that volume to the host.